So yesterday was a very intriguing move for the President of the United States. Got a lot of pushback from Republicans on this. There were a couple of dozen Republican senators who wrote a letter to the President saying, don't do this, but he did it anyway. And that is rescheduling marijuana from a Schedule I drug, where it was at with heroin and cocaine, to a Schedule III drug, which is where it is now. And that's more in line with testosterone and ketamine and Tylenol and things like that. We are happy to welcome on and say good morning to someone who knows this industry very well in Missouri, Eapen Thampy. He is a lobbyist with Great State Strategies here in Missouri. He joins us on KCMO. Of course, Missouri has now recreational marijuana. The state of Kansas does not have anything available when it comes to marijuana. Eapen, good morning. Thanks for being here on KCMO in Kansas City. Why is this a win in your book?
So what the president did yesterday was direct the attorney general to make this designation under federal law to make marijuana legal by prescription. So what you're going to see is marijuana therapeutics become available throughout the traditional healthcare system. You're going to see a lot more clinical research. You're going to see clinical trials happening. I believe I heard Robert Kennedy in the press conference yesterday even say that Medicare and Medicaid will start covering some of these therapies, especially for seniors, within the next year.
But it's only going to be in states where it's currently legal, right?
No, this is a federal designation. So you're actually going to see, the VA be the first significant mover on this, but because this is federally illegal, states do not have the power to block it.
So you're telling me, I just want to make sure we're on the same page. You're telling me that, like in Kansas, where obviously there is no medical marijuana, no recreational marijuana, the VA in Kansas will be able to basically give marijuana-based prescriptions to veterans?
Yes.
You sure about this? Yeah. Okay. I mean, I'm trusting you. You're the expert here. So you're telling me that's going to be the move.
Yeah. So, and I don't see, physicians or hospitals prescribing botanical marijuana. I think you'll see more pharmaceutical grade things like transdermal patches or pills or various medical preparations, tinctures, the like. But yes, you will see. This is a federal policy change, right? So, in 1970, Congress enacts the Controlled Substances Act, which has marijuana as a Schedule I prohibited drug, right? So at 55 years later, President Trump decides to change this classification, citing FDA review of the subject, and a lot of the science has come out since then, showing significant benefits for specific issues, from everything from PTSD to chronic pain, to cancer therapy. There's benefit from medical marijuana.
Okay.
And this is something that I think we know.
But the FDA has not been able to research any of this, right? Because it was a Schedule I drug. So now it opens up the FDA to do research on this. And that's where I want to go next with Eapen Thampy, lobbyist with Great State Strategies in Missouri, on this marijuana rescheduling. How much research do you, I mean, I know that, there's research out there, but how much research now do you want to see the federal government do on this front, and what that may ultimately lead to for marijuana?
So, during the president's press conference yesterday, there was several research physicians who specifically talked about being able to do clinical trials for thousands and thousands of individuals. So this rescheduling removes a lot of the existing barriers to that kind of research. Every human being, we have what's called an endocannabinoid system. We have receptors for for these molecules pervasively throughout our bodies, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we have a basic understanding of how it works and why this is a therapy that touches a lot of issues. Chronic pain is probably the biggest issue with most Americans, especially in the senior population. And one of the big arguments for this was marijuana. I'm not saying it has no risk or certain people shouldn't use it, but by and large, it is a effective therapy for things like chronic pain, and often is used as an alternative or to get people off of prescription opioids.
Well, I wanted to go there next. One thing that obviously, I've heard from people over the last 48 hours on this is, hey, Big Pharma's not happy about this. They'd rather push some opioids and pills on people. And if suddenly there are treatments that are marijuana-based that may be a little more natural, Big Pharma is going to be unhappy. Is that your read on this? And if so, what does that mean?
I don't talk to Pfizer or Eli Lilly, but I don't really see a reason for quote unquote Big Pharma to be unhappy. This is an opportunity for pharmaceutical companies, big and small, to invest in new therapies and a new line of therapies. Everything from regenerative stem cell research to chronic pain to PTSD treatments. The first FDA-approved clinical trial of marijuana in 50 years was approved about 10 years ago and it was conducted by Dr. Sue Sisley, who studied its effects on intractable PTSD in military veterans.
Mm-hmm.
And the barriers she had to overcome to get the trial approved was very significant. And then to conduct the trial was very difficult because of the existing Schedule I barriers. But the president has taken a very bold and decisive action and said,
mm-hmm.
let's move this to a classification where all these things are much more possible.
So this opens up Big Pharma in some respects to do more research with marijuana-based things that maybe they have not been able to do because of the Schedule I classification?
Yes.
Okay.
That's exactly right.
Okay. All right. Interesting. Well, Eapen, thank you very much for hopping on KCMO. Appreciate the time.
It's always good to speak to you, and I'm happy to see the president take. Again, this is a bold and decisive action by the president. It was a very difficult decision, but only President Trump could have made this decision, and it's the right one for a lot of people in the United States, and I know a lot of people are very grateful for his action today.
All right. Good deal, Eapen. Thank you very much, my man.
Take care.
All right. Eapen Thampy, lobbyist, great state strategies. He has been a supporter of, I guess, marijuana in general. I don't know how else to say it. In the state of Missouri for a long time, lobbying on that front.